digital screen television. Ours it is.
Good morning, good people. It is a blessed day, really, and we thank God for life. Thank God for the gift of life. Good to be back here. By the way, to be doing this at this time, having critical conversations, deep conversations, and frank ones, by the way, about the betterment of this great nation called Nigeria. By the way, how was your weekend? I guess it's fine for you as well. Definitely it's fine from this end as well. Femi Ojo remains my name. So like I said, it's good to be back here. Thank you for always staying with us. And of course, I'm not here alone. The delectable Tomilola Daniel is
Good
here.
morning, Femi. How are you doing
Good
this
morning.
morning?
Obviously, very well.
Yeah, and for someone who just got back from a long break, you look good this
Must,
morning.
must you say that?
Of course, I should.
All right, thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. My name is Tomilola Daniel.
Very well. And by the way, this kind of job that we do is not everything that you say. By the way, I should
It
tell
is
you.
everything that you say because you're about to read some people's story right now, and
Yeah.
then your life should also be out there. You can't just read people's story and not speak
By the
about
way,
yours.
I'm not a public office holder at the moment, but it is good and fair enough that we speak to these things. Of course, we go through what the papers are for us rather, and then at the other side of that, we then get talking. Quickly before that, a couple of minutes. Challenges, as they say, is part of life. So, be it financial, be it mental, for some is marital, for some is educational, for some is about their career, or for this great nation of ours called Nigeria, it's about the soul of this nation, the economy, the everything, the gamut, the entire gamut of this nation is bedeviled by myriads of challenges. But then, as they say, you get to surmount it, and even the subnationals have not left out. Quickly, let's make a quick dash to the southern state of Edo, where Governor Obaseki is the governor. He has a few months to go, Tomilola. And of course, there is the conundrum of deputy governors. By the way, Philip Shaibu was impeached by the State House of Assembly, was impeached. But then another deputy governor was put in place. But then the court reinstated him. And last week, he came back and he said, I am back officially. And the Edo State government said, no, you're an imposter, really, because yes, the court verdict might have reinstated you, but then the State House of Assembly went to court to say, to get a stay of execution order. The notice has been filed, and in September, that case will be heard. But then it is a case of one governor, two deputy governors. And yesterday, or over the weekend, Philip Shaibu granted an interview where he went ballistic. You expect that from a politician, by the way, especially when the lines are blurred at the moment. And he said, instead of the governor saying he made him as Philip Shaibu, no, instead he, as Philip Shaibu and other friends, made Governor Obaseki. That he didn't have the financial muscle, he didn't have money to do that. He, with his friend, in fact, the governor was begging him, Adams Oshiomhole, the father of the state politically as it stands right now of the APC, begged him for 3 weeks for him to be deputy to Governor Obaseki. And then you say this is part of the things that we'll see in politics. It is a lot. And that's what we are seeing right now. But then we close rank. We expect them to close rank because it's not just about these two individuals rather. It's about the state, is about the people as well. Many things are really happening. And just like I said, it's not far-fetched. It's challenge and challenges. They come all day. But quickly, we go to what the papers are for us right now. And then when we return, we go on this quick break. When we return, the papers are ready. It's Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Let's remind you that you can be a part of this program by logging on our social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel, all at Western Spring Television. If you are ready, of which we know you are, we are already here doing what we do at this time. Stay with us. All right, very well. We'll be delving straight into what the papers are for us for today. And let me kickstart this particular one from the front page of the the Punch newspaper, punching it for us. Different headlines. Food crisis may worsen as flood hits 10 states. It's not the kind of news anybody wants to hear, but it is the truth. Food crisis may worsen as flood hits 10 states. Riders saying farmers groan as floods ravage farmlands in Sokoto, Kano, Kebbi, 7 others. SEMA asked, I take that again, SEMAs seek government help as drought dry up crops in 4 states. 31 states risk flooding. That's a lot, and I hope the state emergency management in different states we get right into action. And if there is a reason or yes, an emergency that could be avoided, we should please avoid that. If there is need for evacuation, that's one thing that we don't do right often here, and people would rather stay put until they are affected. We don't want any unnecessary loss of lives and properties. And of course, moving on, bottom strip, police detectives hunt 20 university student abductors. It is a lot. Last week or thereabout, a medical student won a trip and they were abducted. 20 of them carried away, and the police are on the hunt, for these abductors. We just hope these things will not even happen. Instead of now going after the abductors, the abductions should rather not happen. Moving on, Vietnam-bound businessman excretes 88 cocaine wraps. Okay, and that is not okay. It's just a matter of me saying it is what it is. Crime is crime, no matter what explanation is given for that. Civil servant screening on IPPS portal ends Friday. Federal government, this controversial IPPRS, especially with the members of the academic community, especially ASU, when they said these wouldn't work for them. And then they proposed the UP3. We hope things will be done properly and properly as well. And you can see these pictures of officials of the National Emergency Management Agency, a state emergency management agency, distributing relief materials to flood victims in Damaturu, Yobe State on Sunday. And this is an intervention, program for people who are currently distressed. Top strip, NNPC battles deepening fuel scarcity, black market booms. Of course, that's what happens when there is disruption in the system. Some individuals, some people will plug into that disruption to make sharp gains. We just hope the NNPC will do the needful and fast as well. Presidential jet, Abiodun consult federal government as Utomi tackles Amusun. It's a shame of what is happening. The Nigeria's asset has been ordered. Some Nigerian assets have been ordered by the court, a French court, to be seized. But then we learned there is a development on that, and we will be looking into that in the course of the program as well. Federal government eyes $2 billion from local dollar bond sale. And lastly, on the front page of the Punch, fake degrees. Federal government orders varsities to submit matriculation list. Fake degrees. That's a lot. And that will be all from the front page of the Punch. This is not new. I knew like 2 years or a year ago, something like this came up in which some students find their way to orientation camps of the NYC without having any official degree. But that will be all from this end. Tomilola.
Moving to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune for this morning, we have this headline that says, Edo PDP alleges police harassment, arrest of party members, presidential jet seizure, another can of worms open, Amosu Utomi trade wars over opaque land investment, uncertainty over federal government's plan to boost food production, and the rider says governors yet to provide plan. They are working on it. That is coming from the presidential spokesman. Disclose NAS a running cost or face legal action, Serap tells Akpabio and Abbas. We are not owing foreign oil traders $6.8 billion. That is coming from NNPCL. Federal government $1 trillion economy The SEC rolls out initiative to attract new listing. And still on the pages of the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, Reno Mokri to Obi, why insecurity should not be politicized. Nigeria's public health in need of urgent improvement. That is coming from Tomori. May June WAEC, how schools candidates can get withheld, result released faster. That is coming from WAEC. Opposes over new law to extend IGP's tenure. A businessman excretes 88 wraps of cocaine as NDLEA intercepts drugs in noodles at MMIA. And that's all on the Nigerian Tribune for this morning.
That's a lot, especially with the person that has been apprehended at the MMIA with the wraps of cocaine, 88, you know, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
And that speaks to what people do for money, really. And you'll have said people could do anything for money in as much as legal that way. But this particular situation is illegal, and, you want to think that some of these guys are being arrested, apprehended on a daily. So you would think that naming and shaming should be enough to serve as a deterrent for people not to want to venture into such a thing. But then you still see things like this happening. One might want to say it's not a Nigerian thing, and that's the fact, because I'm not sure Nigeria will even rank among the first 10 drug-infested country, by the way. But that's not a thing that we should be happy about. But then you can do whatever you want to do for money, but let it be legal, because it is a shame right now for you to see somebody's name will be out there, and the digital footprint doesn't get wiped away that easily, and it is what it is at this time. For young persons, for elderly people, crime is crime, and it doesn't pay as well. Moving away from the Tribune, we move to the Guardian. Quite few headlines from that end. The Guardian, fuel queues linger as traders await Dangote NNPCL refineries. We Nigerians will be find, a bit of a relief that at least what we are hearing about Dangote now is positivity and hope about what is refinery, Dangote refinery and petrochemicals will bring succor to the Nigerian market, not just the debacle, that bedeviled Dangote and his company like 2-3 weeks ago. Again, fuel queues linger as traders await Dangote and NPCL refineries. We have been given hopes upon hopes, especially the taking off of the Nigerian refinery, the one in Port Harcourt. We have been given August as a take-off date, and today is August 19. People are hopeful. We were told in January and December that it's up. The Port Harcourt refinery is up technically, but then there is nothing from that end. We hope it takes off. And then the Dangote refinery. So maybe we will have an end in sight to this unnecessary, confusing, and annoying, scarcity of fuel that we are seeing. Away from that, account for NAS running cost. Sarah tells Akpabio and Abbas, of course, you could see the picture of the gentleman there, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas, and of course, a former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Akpabio there. Utomi Amos on trade words over contract violation amid calls for jet probe. Many persons, maybe we should put it out there, the season of the Nigerian asset, the 3 planes that has been ordered by that French court, that business wasn't even done by Nigeria as a nation. It was done by Ogun State. And so the French found Ogun State as one of the federating units in Nigeria. Many lawyers are finding it absurd as well. But just like I said, we'll look into that. And there's this front, back and forth, really, with businessman and politician, Patu Tomi, and of course, former governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosu. Lastly, on the front page of The Guardian, Mpox. I was about to say Mpox. Okay. Is Mpox. Tomori laments Nigeria's poor preparation for outbreak. And I think that's one thing, one outbreak, God forbid, on the shores of our land that we should look forward to. Right. Okay. Is that the right word to look forward to, or to be wary of and prepare against, because this has been seen in some African countries as well, quite deadly, and of course, it's disfiguring, if I may use that. And so, in as much we have that this is a fact, we should prepare against that. Finally, again, rather, Tomilola laments Nigeria's poor preparation for outbreak of mpox. What are the signs? What is it about? Of course, you could see the picture of Mr. Party there. That's a honorable minister for health. What are we doing? Advocacy, enlightenment, education, these things must be on the front burner. That will be all from The Guardian for today.
And on this day newspaper, Tinubu to Chief of Staff ensure court in cost of governance. No large delegation to UNGA meetings.
Okay.
Telecom subscribers kick against planned tariff hike. Say it is additional burden. Outrage over abduction of 20 medical students in Benue State. Opposition lawmakers accuse PDP chairman, secretary of plotting to remove Fubara. Amosun says Chinese firm dispute is between two Chinese companies like P and ID Scam. And we have some riders under that. Says Zhongfu lied against China-Africa investment. Insists his government acted based on request of Chinese government. I am ready to provide document to assist federal government, and that is coming from the former governor of Ogun State, Gbenga Daniel, and that's all on this day newspaper.
The back and forth, it's a bit, you might want to say amusing, but not really like a humor. It is a dry humor and an embarrassing one that a state will have a business deal with a company, because of, one of the parties defaulted. That happened since 2003 or 2001 when Ibukele Amusun was the governor of that state. And it is what has degenerated to this level that a nation like Nigeria, 200 million of us and above, our asset, I have to say that, being the planes, those assets were on European land at that point, two private jets, two presidential jets that were in Europe at that time, I think for one thing or another, and allegedly one that has just been bought and is about to be delivered according to that particular story. So you can imagine two presidential jets and a new one that even Mr. President, allegedly now, Mr. President has not even, rode in or flown rather, is being seized. But we understand there is a development on that and it's a bit rough edges. So this kind of situation, you expect to me that there will be blames and counter blames. And that's why you are seeing the name of Ibukele Amusun. He was a governor at the time, two-time governor. He was a senator, and I think he's still a senator, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, Patu Tomi, a business person and economist as well, the back and forth, the man came up and he was like, okay, this is karma playing out, with what we are seeing, especially in Ogun State. But it is a lot. And of course, finally, Daily Trust has something, and is something to look forward to. Quite brief, but quite other statement. No national, I repeat, is from the Daily Trust. No NAS approval for new presidential jet. No NAS approval, that's National Assembly approval for new presidential jet. Okay. I had to use that word repeatedly for emphasis when I say allegedly that plane that was seized. And now we're hearing that there is no National Assembly approval for new presidential jet. A few weeks or a month ago, there is this conversation about the fact that the presidential fleet, has an array of planes that are not fit for use with fault. And then maybe there is a call. Of course, there is a committee that recommended that a new brand new plane should be gotten for the president and his vice. And then there's that part. We don't need it. Yes, we need it. Can we afford it at this time? Can the president even go on commercial flights whenever he travels? And then we are seeing that some have said it has even been. But there is a newspaper that reported that, okay, maybe the jet is hanging somewhere. The federal government came out to deny. And the National Assembly is saying there is no approval for new presidential jet. But Tomilola, you remember that it's something popular on the street, by the way, this is not official, that people will say, whatever government, not really Tinubu's government at different levels come out to deny, most likely there is an iota of truth in that particular thing. Possibly it's not just ready, but we are hearing that the National Assembly is saying there is no approval for that for the new presidential jet as well. But many persons have been saying, should our president be flying Molue of, the Molue now, the bus in Lagos, the rickety part, and saying, should our president, number one man, should be flying around in a rickety Molue-like kind of plane, because based on what has even happened in the past, or some high and mighty in some countries, dropping dead by virtue of crash. We don't want that for anybody, by the way. But the question is, can we afford a brand new jet as a nation at this time, with what we are facing economically?
I really can't say. It's possible that they can, because sometimes the government pulls some strings sometimes, and you wonder how they do it.
They do that.
Tomorrow morning, you can hear that they bought a new jet. I think they debunked it earlier that the president did not get a new jet, but now we are hearing that some jets were seized, and there are questions that how did this come about. But yes, anything can happen. It's politics. So looking at how the economy is, we still have some senators getting paid humongous amount of money, and then we still have some civilians suffering for it. So if we have senators who are getting that amount of money, and then you're saying that they can do anything, you just expect anything from
I
the
like
government.
your answer. You are just in the middle. Okay, but that's fine. That's you being diplomatic about these issues. But then speaking about the National Assembly members and their emolument, many persons will say, and senators, by the way, that it's like we pick on them, the National Assembly members, unnecessarily. Like they are the ones that we always talk about, the cars that they ride in, the constituency allowance that they get, the salary which they get, whatever the total package is, we are interested. But have we really beamed as such? Like when I mean we, the people that always talk about the emolument of the National Assembly members based on what we hear that they get. There's this back and forth last week about the RMFAC, the allocation committee, revenue and allocation committee coming out to say, hey, Senator, and maybe just over $1 million. And people come out to say, hey, please, spare
even the senators came out to debunk that.
You
so
could see them frowning. And then the senator came out to say, we receive almost 21 million every month. But that doesn't mean it's meant, all of it is meant for us. That's some of those things are meant for constituency project, running of your office, aid, newspaper, and it counted and
hardship
counted.
Allowances.
Well, whatever hardship means for a Nigerian senator, by the way, you should be getting hardship allowance.
That's the question.
It should be the civil servant and people that do dangerous jobs, really. You wonder what that means, hardship. Even if it's 2,000 naira, I think that should be removed, from those things that are accrued, so that kind of money. And then you could see senators frowning, and it has been done in the past. When Shehu Sani was in the Senate, he came out to say, okay, my conscience is pricking, and this is how much. I think this was 13 million at the time. And he said he got the backlash of his life, and he was about to be suspended before he was rescued, so to speak, by the Senate president then, who used his power to say, okay, maybe we should let it slide. And it has happened again with one senator coming out last week, and we learned he has been back. There has been backlash about him as well. And then you wonder, you're a public official. You are elected by the people. You are being paid for by the people's patrimony. The people's commonwealth is what you guys are feeding on. If actually you are doing your job, and it appears, there are some reps, some representatives, some senators, in which there are people who say for a whole month, you might not get to see them on the faces of the camera. That doesn't mean it's necessary that you must see their face, but it means they have not really seen them contribute anything meaningful. By the way, some of them at best, they sleep, they play games. We have seen videos and pictures of some honorable members who just go there to say, the eyes have it, nay, that's all. And that's all they
get paid
do.
for it.
And they come about after 4 years to say, so the point I was making is, why does it appear like we pick on the National Assembly, the parliamentarians, without looking at the executive? Really, do we ask ourselves how much the emolument of a minister of the Federal Republic is, the cabinet members, the chief of staff? Okay, the chief of staff wasn't elected by the people, by the way. He is an appointee of the president. So we come out as well. There's the chief of staff out of this, the AGF as well. But the cabinet members who go about, who do these things, yes, they are not voted for, they are appointed. but they are nominated. Every minister is nominated from his state, representing his state, at the cabinet level. That do we really beam a searchlight onto what a minister gets? Because I was a senator who said, you people pick on us, but you don't ask ministers what they get. You don't even hear what they get, and they keep getting whatever they are getting. They keep riding the kind of cars that are getting. There was a time at the FCT in which many persons were saying the kind of car that the current minister there, yes, on week, a former governor of River State is riding, it's possibly quite over the board for what a minister should be riding. And the guy said, okay, see the car there, you guys can do whatever you want to do. It is what it is. And really, do we ask enough questions from federal cabinet members, apart from parliamentarians?
Yeah, I think we should be fair enough to go all round instead of just focusing on one sector. And I would also say that I feel the reason why Nigerians pick on senators is because we see them mostly during meetings. And then we see most of them sleeping, not paying attention. And then people question them that what exactly are you being paid for? Right. A lot of people during the meeting won't even say what. The only thing is, if you're against it, say nay, say aye, and then that's all. And then after the end of every meeting, they get, they all smile on. So what is the essence of
there
you?
There is sitting allowance, by the way. And sometimes you look at the plenary and you saw the place is even virtually empty. Sometimes half. And by the way, how the National Assembly works is this. They don't do plenary on Mondays. They don't. Tuesdays to Thursdays. They don't do plenary on Fridays, except on rare occasions. So your senator, my senator, your rep, my rep, doesn't go to the National Assembly, for plenary sitting on Mondays and Fridays. Only Tuesday 1, Wednesday 2, and Thursday 3. And they used to start the plenary, I think, around 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. And recently we learned that for whatever reason best known to them, it has been shifted to 11 a.m. Okay. So how dare you be, as a Tomilola, you're on morning duty and you're coming to work by 11 a.m. I wonder if actually you can try that. That is what it. That doesn't mean they don't do any other function. And sometimes they perform oversight beyond the shores of the National Assembly complex. But you have said it. We should beam a searchlight beyond the parliamentarians, even at the state level. The governors as well. There is something called security vote for governors at all, states, in all states. And there is one vote, a lump sum of money, that nobody gets to question them. It has been happening since the military days when we had the military administrators in charge of state, and they voted a particular kind of money called security vote. And it's meant, to just say, help the security situation and, but it is a kind of money that at least a state that gets less, possibly at this time, is 200 million naira every month. And it's a kind of money that nobody gets to ask the governor, how do you do it? So imagine a governor getting 200 million naira, some as high as 300 million naira every month for 4 years. And if actually that governor is lucky, he's elected 2 times, 8 years, every month 200 million naira for 8 years. And these are the kind of people that still want to leave and then go to the Senate to continue whatever they are earning. And some of them in a state that we knew was allegedly said to have paid. That's not even an allegation. Yahaya Bello, it was said that he paid upfront in dollars to a particular school for his children. As we round off and go for this break, I was having a chat in my community, with somebody, and I said, the person is an artisan, and I told the person, you are trying all your best to take care of your children. You as an artisan, many people are doing so. I'm doing that. Many persons are doing that, whatever the economy is saying. But a governor who was governor for 8 years still could not use his own personal money to train his children. How shameful can that be? And he has to use the state fund to pay thousands of dollars in advance. Tomilola, that's the point. In advance for his children. It's a lot. Nigeria is a lot. And this is the same man that the FCC said, the FCC boss said, Ololukoyede said, he won't rest. He would rather leave this job if actually he can't go through with Yahaya Bello's case. And people are asking, Mr. Ololukoyede, the chairman of the FCC, where is the white lion? Where is Yahaya Bello? These are some of the things. We keep asking these questions. That's why we are here to, beam the spotlight on some of these issues, on all of these issues, and especially on this program, It's about you, the people, and of course, we from this end being the mirror of the society. That is what we do at this time here on Money Spring at Western Spring Television. We take this quick break, and when we come back, it will be the time for the conversation. Nigeria, it appears we're at a crossroad, a conundrum in which is the order of the day now. Where are we? What should we do? There have been myriads and loads of suggestions about how to go about these things. Will it work? What kind of conversation should we be having? It's a lot, but trust us to put a pin to these issues and deflate it so that we have a nation that we are proud of. Stay with us. This morning, Spring on Western Spring Television. We'll be right back.